It's been a while. Alright guys, it's Stass here. Finally, an all grain brew day. It's been a long time coming. We're doing the 6th iteration, I think, of FIL's Wish. Trying a few things, cutting out the Crystal 60 and subbing in some Munich base malt. I just threw in 130 grams of toffee malt that was just hanging around. I just thought, get rid of it and stop it taking up space in the grain drawer. And we're just cutting back on the Simcoe just a little bit. And we're also going to try some wet conditioning. So I've got my spray bottle, don't judge, it's not mine. And yeah, so we're going to just wet condition the grain, never done it before, and we'll get cracking. Pun wasn't intended, but I'll pay it. Alright, so we've conditioned the grains. They're just sitting here for another 5-10 minutes or so. Yeah, 2% of the grain weight in water, so it's roughly 5 kilos of grain, so it's 100 ml of water. Yeah, already you can see that it feels different. There's a bit more friction between the grains. What's it actually feel like? Yeah, it does feel. Now this is idea came from Gash's video on wet conditioning, so yeah, this will be interesting. We've got our little helper here. So this is my test crush, and look at that. Ouch. So it appears to be working. I'd say it's pretty clear after half an hour. Yeah. Coming to the boil, we were supposed to hit 13.4, I think, with 24.4 litres. We're at 27.5, just over 27 litres, and hit 11.4. So I think we're going to boil for a little longer, see if we can boil off a litre or two of water before we add in our first hops. So that's what we're going to do, and that's how we're going to recover. So, as you can see, just over 27 litres, so I'm going to wait till that gets down to at least 26, and I'll take another sample again, probably closer to 25. We're going to do in a half-hour boil addition, so yeah. Bit disappointed. I need to maybe adjust my beersmith profile for the sparge amount. Looks like I've over-sparged. And because of how quickly it went through, I don't even think I got any video footage of it. It seriously took about 3 minutes, maybe longer, maybe 10. But yeah, it was really, really fast. So I'm going to take this opportunity to go have a quick shower because I'm still in my jammies. And yeah, I'll see you soon. All right, it's about 20 minutes later. We're now getting close to that 26 litre mark. We're supposed to be down 25.5, so I'm just going to take a sample. Let's have a look, and if we're close enough, we're just going to go with the hop drop. So just cooling the sample down to room temperature, and just a little sink of water. So yeah, you want to make sure you take your reading of these at room temperature. ATC, automatic temperature control. It's true, but not from 100 degrees. So make sure you're within the ballpark of room temperature. Right, so I just checked the numbers. We're actually on target. It's supposed to be 25.4 litres at 11.9. We're at 25.8 at 12 bricks. So yes, awesome. Though that the fast sparge didn't seem to affect gravity points at all. I'm normally a couple of points over though with that same crush, so whatever. I'm bang on exactly where I thought I would be, except for I've got too much water. Well, I had too much water in my pre-boil, but I now boiled that down. So we're in spec, which is awesome. And I'm quite happy to trade a few points of efficiency for a sparge that lasts like 10 minutes as opposed to 40, so rocking. Brew day's finished. Rinsed it down with a water hose and a microfiber cloth. Kept all the hot water from chilling in the counterflow chiller in 2 buckets. Poured it up. So we started at 40 degrees, which is good. And I thought I'd show you something else, just a little tip that I've done. This is just an old washing detergent cup. And it's 35 ml per 10 litres, so what I did is I weighed it out, did a little mark there. I need to remark it, but yeah, so I don't have to weigh it particularly. I mean, you don't have to be super careful. That was Charlotte's contribution. She wanted to help, so she drew a smiley face. So yeah, I'm going to dose this up and leave it soak for a while I finish up the brew. Another little tip, once you go to recirc your cleaning solution through the counterflow chiller, don't straight away put it in here, because it'll come out all gunky. So watch this. So first little bit coming through. It wasn't that bad. But there is, yeah, it's still a bit beery. Not all that. Now it's running clear. Stop that and put it back in. And then we don't tarnish our cleaning solution. Alright, brew day done. That's midday. Oh, I haven't finished cleaning up, but it's just soaking. I'm just going to do that tomorrow. Pretty good colour, pretty good clarity on that. We finished at 1052, which in bricks is 12.8. Yes, 12.8. We're aiming for 13.1. So we're a few points down, but I think we're a little over in volume. But as long as it comes out around that 5.5%, 5.5%, I'm happy. Because yeah, what happened with the boil and stuff. So let's get a taste. I'm going to put this down now. Alright, so cheers. Smells a bit, I'm getting that Simcoe resin. And that, I think it's Citra and Simcoe, which are the bigger late editions. They're only 10-minute editions, so I'm mainly getting the flavour in this, and there's going to be a big dry hop. Yeah, let's go for a taste. Get the familiar bitterness on the Warrior. From memory, it's a little more bitter than I remember it at this stage. It's not as sweet. Remember, I subbed out the Crystal 60 for more of the Munich malt, so it's more percentage, but it won't have that residual sweetness. I did have 130 grams or so of toffee malt, which I threw in there, which will hopefully give a little bit of residual sweetness. Pretty happy with that. We'll see how it goes. It's in the fermenter. Big healthy pitcher yeast, so it should be fired up, ready to go. Hopefully tonight, maybe tomorrow. Cheers everyone. Hey guys, today because I can't find my tripod. So anyway, this is the final tasting for Phil's Wish version 6. Well, you know that, this is part of the same video. It's just starting to drop clear. I don't think you can tell. So, how's it tasting? Well, let's explore that, shall we? Getting a nice tropical nose, tropical fruit nose, that resiny Simcoe smell just tucked under nicely compared to the previous version. Not as much malt sweetness coming through as I remember from the previous version, but the Amarillos, that orangey, citrusy flavour, aroma, and the fruity, slightly dank Citra and Simcoe resin. It's there. This is probably more balanced in terms of aroma than the previous version. Let's go in for a taste. Cheers. Bitterness is about right, actually. From memory, it's about the same bitterness as before, even though I only did a 30-minute addition. I think I just upped it by 3 grams. It went from 8 grams at 60 minutes to 11 grams at 30, I think. Don't quote me on that. Yeah, I'm sorry, the quality of this video is not great because I'm using the front-facing camera on my phone. I'm still getting some nice tropical hop flavour. That resin note from the Simcoe is still there, but it's subdued. It's finishing drier, and it's got a thinner mouth feel. It's like a 1% lower ABV, from 6.5 down to 5.5, and there's less crystal malt. Well, there's no crystal malt. This is Munich, you know this. But the toffee, the sweetness from the toffee malt's just poking through. I could probably do with a little bit more toffee malt, if I'm honest, to get that sweetness, which I do like in an IPA. But it's really nice. And as an aside note, the day that I took this out of fermenter and kegged it, force carbed it and took a bottle into my homebrew group, and it scored 2nd place in the You Be the Judge competition that we were running. So this one's going to be I'm going to have to rebrew this one to serve a bitter and twisted result. The one that came first was a hibiscus mead, which was, I didn't taste it, but I have tasted the guy who brewed his meads before, and they are really, really good. So overall, pretty happy with this. It's a very easy drinking IPA. It's not too bitter. It does have that bitter that long finish bitterness, but it's not overly bitter for an IPA. But it is finishing a little dry for my tastes. But I think a lot of people like their beer to finish dry. I don't mind a bit of a sweetness in mine. So yeah, interesting change. I like both ways. And this is probably more accessible for your average punter. And if you gave this to someone who wasn't a craft beer drinker or a big IPA drinker, they'd probably be more happy with this one than the previous version. I think I like the flavours of the previous version, but I like this alcohol percentage because you can have sort of, this is a 330ml glass. You can kind of sit on these and you don't get too silly. So yeah, this has been Stass with a grain to glass of Phil's Wish version 6. Thanks for sticking around, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.